It's the end of the year as we know it. It's the end of the year as we know it. It's the end of the year as we know it, and we don't mind. That's great. All right, it's 8:18 in the morning. It's the 29th day of December 2023, New Year's Eve, almost upon us, which means it's time to reflect on the past year. It's time to take a look at the champions and challengers, the winners and losers that came out of January OGL Manic Panic and where they stand now. And right now, of course, we got to look at Tales of the Valiant / Project Black Flag, which are both the same and completely different things. So let's turn the Wayback Machine all the way back to January 2023 and Kobold Press. Now, if you're not familiar with Kobold Press, that's not a surprise. In fact, until this year, there's a lot of people who didn't know they were even existed. This is despite the fact that they've won numerous awards and been mentioned positively numerous times since 2014. Kobold Press is the #1 third-party 5e content creator, and many people consider their stuff better than anything Wizards has made for 5e since 2014. Especially the Midgard stuff. I mean, it's constantly receives praises. It's very surprising not more people have heard of them, considering the amount of awards they've won and just the amount of positive press. I mean, there's very little controversy connected to these guys other than the controversy that's connected to anybody who makes 5e product, which is just, well, you suck because you're liberal and you make 5e and you use safety tools. And that's not my D&D. So, you know, by now, that's sort of becoming a very paper tiger reason to be angry at people. So yeah, these guys make stuff. They make really, really good stuff. They've been making stuff for 5e since 2014. They're the #1 third-party creator of 5e stuff. And with Tales of the Valiant poised to happen hopefully any day now, the alpha test is ready. They could be the game to topple 5e, much the same way Pathfinder toppled 4e. They're definitely in the top 3. Okay, so really it just depends on who comes out with their product when and how they purchase it. Okay, right? So January happened. Kobold Press was already just churning out product, and they said, you know what? We're going to make our own thing. Of course, a lot of people said, screw you, Wizards of the Coast. I'm going to make my own thing. Screw you, Drive-Thru. I'm going to make my own thing. So Kobold said, you know what? We're going to make our own thing. We're going to call it Project Black Flag because that just sounds awesome. Who doesn't love pirates? So they announced that they were going to make a thing. And a lot of people were under the misconception that it was going to be a brand new system because of the way they phrased it. So we will forgive the people who got angry at them because of the way Kobold phrased the announcement. It could have perceived as, yeah, we're making our very own game. And it's not a 5e retro clone. It's called Project Black Flag. But then it got a new name, and it was called Tales of the Valiant, which is not a name that rolls off the tongue. It sounds like a classic 1980s Marvel comic thing. Like, you know, Spider-Man and the Thing in Tales of the Valiant. You know, like how Marvel always had those 2-in-1s and stuff like that. Would be like the Incredible Thing and somebody else, or Spider-Man and someone else, and they always had, it was like always called like Tales of the Unexpected or Tales from the Valiant or Miles. So it kind of sounds like that. Tales of the Valiant. It kind of, you know, it definitely inspires a certain mental image, but it also is just kind of hard to, it just doesn't roll off the tongue. And you know, whatever. So they announced Tales of the Valiant. People saw what Tales of the Valiant was going to be, and they're like, well, it's just 5e, but slightly different and slightly more powerful. To which point, Kobold Press said, yes, and then people went, well, you said you were making your new game. And Kobold Press went, no, we didn't. We said we were going to fulfill all the contracts we had for 5e product, and then we were going to make a new system that was unique to us. But since all our stuff is 5e, and we're going to keep making 5e adjacent product, of course, our system is basically going to be a 5e retro clone under the ORC. We're just doing the same thing. We're scrubbing any connections to 5e. We're taking stuff we've already made and we're running with it. So it is definitely a 5e adjacent 5e retro clone. It's not the first 5e retro clone. It may be the best 5e retro clone, and it definitely is poised to pick up the slack if 2024 D&D fails, because it's the easiest to transfer. If you've got a 5e 2023 character or a whole bunch of 5e books and modules and stuff, and you want to keep using those, but you don't want to support Wizards in 2024 because, maybe it sucks, or maybe you're just tired of their shenanigans. This is the system that could pick up the slack much the same way Pathfinder did in 2014. It's close enough that the transferal would be relatively painless. Converting a character from 5e to Tales of the Valiant is probably going to be a lot easier than converting a 5e character from 2023 to a 5e character from 2024, because as we've seen, despite what Wizards has said us, they are two completely different games. A 5e 2024 fighter would kill a 5e 2023 fighter in like a round. But if you've got a bunch of 5e stuff, like, Storm King's Thunder, Tomb of Annihilation, what have you, and you want to keep using them with a 5e group, but you don't want to play 5e in 2024 because 2024 5e sucks, here's your game. Easy transfer. So that is why it's poised to pick up the slack. That, and they really haven't done anything controversial this year. I mean, compared to Wizards or some of the other games, they've got a little poop on them from the torch bearers and pitchfork waivers, but those guys are going to poop on anything that is even remotely connected to 5e. So they're going to find controversy and they're going to go, liberal safety tools, blah, 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 not my D&D. More powerful version of 5e. And to which I respond, well, your points are all well and good, but were you planning on playing this game anyways? No? Well, then I don't care, and they don't care. Oh, no. Somebody who wasn't going to ever play our game or give us any money is complaining about us. Yeah, I don't care. So congratulations, Tales of the Valiant. You are probably number 3. What a year. We still don't know what the product line for Tales of the Valiant is going to be. They've got the complete game in 2 books. Book 1 is your player's handbook. Book 2 is your Monster Manuals and DM's guide. Pretty familiar. All the pre-existing Kobold Press product can be used seamlessly with Tales of the Valiant. All the upcoming Kobold Press product in 2024 going forward will be able to be used seamlessly with Tales of the Valiant. Most likely, Tales of the Valiant will be set in the Midgard world, since Kobold already has a unbelievably excellent campaign setting, considered by many to be better than anything Wizards has made. So yeah, they're poised. They're there. And they're definitely in my top 3. I would put them probably... I'd probably put them, if I'm going to put... Well, I said this already today, but I'm going to say it again in case you didn't miss that. If Darrington Press does not do anything with Daggerheart by the end of January, any positive energy Daggerheart has is going to be lost. Just the interest is already waning. People are already going, yeah, but you haven't done anything. And let's look at Candle Obscura. So they need to really get behind it. And if they get behind it, then it will remain the number 1 most expected game in 2024, assuming it comes out in 2024, which at this point, I'm not even sure it will. But if they don't get behind it by the end of January, February, people are just going to lose interest. We are a short attention span community. We instantly switch gears within hours. So yeah, if you haven't built our excitement up by the end of January, February, we're going to lose interest in Daggerheart. It's just the way the industry works, which makes these guys poised to be the 5e game, to be the Pathfinder of 2024. unless Pathfinder is the Pathfinder of 2024. But I don't know. It just depends on when Tales of the Valiant comes out, how they advertise it. Now, the best way to do this, since it's already ready, is to figure out when Wizards is going to actually be releasing 5e and release Tales of the Valiant the week before. Not after, before. Why would I release Tales of the Valiant before 5e came out? To distract people. And make it slightly cheaper. If you're going in the store and you're looking for that physical player's handbook for D&D 2024, and you see that the Tales of the Valiant 5e 2024 is already out, and Wizards has just told you, oh no, the physical product has been delayed, but you can get the digital on D&D Beyond, what is your brain going to go? Your brain's going to go, well, this is already here, and it pretty much does what I want it to do, so I could pick this up now, or I could wait. Or I could give Wizards of the Coast $30 and then buy the digital copy of 2024 D&D and use that. Or I could buy this now for $60. Wait. Buy this now. What? Buy this now. But you're going to buy it now. So if I'm Kobold Press, I'm waiting for Wizards to announce when D&D 2024 is going to be on the shelves and then release it a week before. And if they do that, I could see them definitely poking some holes. Now, is anybody going to topple D&D 2024 off of the top of the mountain? That's the topic of a separate video. So in closing, we take a look at the end of the year of Kobold Press, Project Black Flag, Tales of the Valiant. Project Black Flag, the SRD exists. I pointed a link down below. It allows you to create product for pretty much any system. It is their take on the, they've used the ORC and they've used the 5e SRD 1 point whatever, because as we know, Wizards of the Coast put it under the wrong open source. That's, again, a completely separate video. So you could take the SRD, that's the Project Black Flag SRD, which is linked down below, use it to create product for Pathfinder, use it to create product for Tales for the Valiant, use it to create 5e product, third-party 5e product, use it to create stuff for Green Ronin or any other company that uses the OGL, or basically D20. Well, yeah, that was the topic of a separate video. Thanks for ruining the surprise. Yeah, if you want to release stuff that is D&D, the Project Black Flag thing. I totally agree. Shadow Dark is going to be huge. We'll talk about that. Tales of the Valiant is poised to be huge. Daggerheart, it depends. It depends. Again, we can talk about this, and if you want to do a video together sometime, Bloodworth, that depends on Mercer and Darrington Press. Again, if it comes out January, February, I think they're okay. If it doesn't, I think people are going to lose interest. But yeah, if you want to use Tales from the Valiant, reference stock is out. Physical product should be out soon. We don't know when. And yes, I will talk to you later. If anybody wants to, jump on and talk about this as the end of the year comes, I'm available. I've got no plans. I just posted on your site, on your last video, RPG Grandma, about who I think is the person, if you want to DM me. See y'all later.